Happy Friday. Welcome in to the Ravens Rundown by Chat Sports. Tyler Jones here. Thanks for joining us. Coming up on today's show, we're going to talk about a blockbuster trade rumor involving the Ravens moving on from Patrick Queen and acquiring Chase Young from one DMV team to another. We'll examine it coming up in just a matter of moments. Before we do, folks, we're getting very, very close to 10,000 subscribers here on Ravens Rundown. And as we've told you previously, the more subscribers we get, the more content we can bring you. We can do more live shows. We can do more watch parties, all of that. But we need you to hop on board. Come on in and stay a while, folks, as we bring you coverage like no one else is of your Baltimore Ravens here on the channel. Subscribe now for free today. If the Ravens make a move, you know we're going to be on top of it here, bringing you instant reaction to whatever goes on with your favorite team. Subscribe now for free. Turn on notifications so you never miss a moment. YouTube.com/RavensTV to subscribe for free today. The folks over at Bleacher Report put together a trade idea, a blockbuster trade, or in this case, 4th of July week, a firework trade involving edge rusher Chase Young of the Washington Commanders and Baltimore Ravens linebacker Patrick Queen. Let's tell you what they had to say about this idea they put together, courtesy of Alex Ballantyne. Odafe Owe and David Ojabo are a promising young duo, but Young would add another young option who demonstrated a high ceiling when he won Rookie of the Year in 2020. The Commanders did not pick up his fifth-year option after injuries limited him to 12 games and 1.5 sacks over the last 2 seasons. The Ravens didn't pick up Patrick Queen's fifth-year option either. They did, however, hand Roquan Smith a 5-year, $100 million contract after trading for him midseason. He's been productive. He had 117 combined tackles and 5 sacks in 2022 and has played in every game since he's been drafted. The Commanders would get a steady presence at linebacker, while the Ravens would get an edge rusher who could help take advantage of, help take their defense to the next level. So here is the trade proposal that is talked about there by Bleacher Report. The Ravens receive Chase Young, and in exchange, they not only give up Patrick Queen, but they also depart with a 4th-round pick. And the belief has been that Chase Young is worth around a 2nd-round pick or 2 mid-round picks of some sorts. And so in this case, you're subbing out Patrick Queen for what would be the other mid-round pick, essentially, in this case. And I'll say this, and we'll dive into this more here in just a second. You are in a situation where if you're the Ravens, you have to pay Patrick Queen or Chase Young, and the problem still is right there in front of you. It's paying a player their money beyond the 5th year, right, of getting that long-term contract. So you don't get out of paying a young player in this circumstance. You're just trading out one position for another in this case. So what do you think? Would you trade Patrick Queen for Chase Young? Weigh in the comment section. Tell me what you think. It's our pinned comment today. You might get an ad break. If so, take advantage of it. Get your votes in. Tell me what you think. Y for yes, in for no. Would you trade Patrick Queen for Chase Young? Also with that 4th-round pick as well. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. Another factor in all this for me, now that we know that the money circumstance, that you're going to have to pay one or the other anyway, that the money essentially is not the factor here. It's kind of the talent equation, and also, are you giving up too much throwing in the 4th-round pick? Another factor from this is Trenton Simpson, the rookie that the Ravens drafted in the 3rd round out of Clemson, the linebacker. And there's a lot of high hopes for Trenton Simpson as he joins this Ravens team and what he could bring to the table in 2023. And for me, I think what makes this trade a little bit easier depends on what your confidence level is in Trenton Simpson. If you think he's ready to start day one alongside Roquan Smith and that you won't see much of a drop-off in production from Patrick Queen to Trenton Simpson, then yeah, you go ahead and make this trade, and you feel pretty confident about doing so. I mean, think about this. I know that we say 3rd-round pick, but there was incredible value and Trenton Simpson and where the Ravens picked him up. According to Mel Kiper Jr., he was the number 1 linebacker in this year's draft, the number 35 overall player in 2023. And you're looking at a guy that has ideal traits for use as a spy on mobile quarterbacks. He's been compared to Darren Lee, is who he is kind of like, who he models himself after of sorts. And the numbers of what he did in college in 2022, you're looking at a guy who had about 72 tackles, 4 tackles for loss, 2.5 sacks, 2 forced fumbles. And comparably speaking, take that to what he would be replacing in Patrick Queen. Look at this. Queen's coming off the best season of his entire career with 117 tackles, 9 tackles for loss, 5 sacks, and 2 interceptions. Although Patrick Queen hasn't been to a Pro Bowl yet early on in his career, he hasn't been bad. Sure, he may have not lived up to expectations quite yet at this point. Patrick Queen, I think we all said that he got off to a slow start to 2022, but then once Roquan Smith showed up, he had a nice finish to the year. So that to me is, besides just the, do you want Chase Young? Are you okay with moving on from Patrick Queen, making the trade and all that? It comes down to me, it's just where you're at with Trenton Simpson. If you feel comfortable with Trenton Simpson, then this makes sense to go ahead and go forward with that trade. Let me ask you this. What's your confidence level in Trenton Simpson as a rookie to step in right away and be that starting linebacker potentially alongside Roquan Smith and replace Patrick Queen? Let me know what your confidence level is. Scale it for me 1 through 10 in the comments section and tell me what you think your confidence level in Trenton Simpson is. Now back to Chase Young, the player that you'd be acquiring in all this, right? The talent of Chase Young isn't the issue here. We all know that he's a special player, a guy that was the number 2 overall pick out of the Ohio State several years ago, back in 2020, NFL Defensive Rookie of the Year. He's been a Pro Bowler, all of that. That's not the issue. The talent level is not the concern for me. I'm looking at a guy that I think, if he's healthy, can play at an all-pro caliber level. But that's the problem. I don't know if he's going to be healthy. Think about this. In the first 3 seasons of his career, this is a guy that played just 9 games in 2021 and 3 games in 2022. Is that problem going to carry on, or is it just bad luck that he had the first couple of seasons? That I don't know. And so with that, do you want to pay Chase Young that money, comparably speaking, to a guy in Patrick Queen who has been pretty reliable, who's been dependable to get on the football field? That's something you consider. So to recap this situation of what we're looking at, the Ravens receive Chase Young, and the Commanders get Patrick Queen and a 2024 4th-round pick in this trade. You're a Ravens team that's very close, that you were on the edge of being one of the top teams in the AFC. You make this move, and if Chase Young is healthy, then you join the elite class in the American Football Conference as far as I'm concerned. I'll tell you what, at the end of the day, I think I would go ahead and make this trade. Can't be scared, right? Scared money don't make none. I would go forward with this trade. What do you guys think? Name a player the Ravens should add. We know that they're going to tighten up the roster before the season begins. Whether it's a Chase Young or somebody else like that, weigh in the comments section. Name a player you would like to see the Ravens add before the 2023 season officially begins. Hit me up on social media. I'm on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. Also recently joined Threads. Threading the needle over there, having a great time on that social media platform. The easiest part about following me on all those social media platforms, same username. I don't mess around with other usernames. Tyler Jones Live. Follow me on all those social media platforms. I always follow back. Not really. That's a joke. But thanks for joining us. Have an outstanding weekend. We'll continue to cover your Baltimore Ravens like no one else does here on the channel. Follow me, and I'll see you next time. And thanks for joining us here on the Ravens Rundown. Have a great day.